speaker is called Liam Glennon. In 2012, Liam graduated the University of Manchester with a degree in economics. Determined to have a career that tackled problems in society, he soon joined the Cabinet Office. After 4 years working at the heart of government, he is now founding a startup which aims to tackle problems in the housing market. Please welcome Liam to the stage.
Time is our most valuable asset. The first time I heard that, I was about 13 years old and stood in assembly at school. I was at all boys school, so there were hundreds of boys in this long brown assembly hall. Up on stage was one of our teachers, Mr. Arnold, and he was giving a speech. He said, imagine every day your bank account paid you £86,400, and you can spend that money on whatever you like. But when the day is up, that money disappears. How would you spend your money each day? Of course, this was his analogy for time. Each day, we get 86,400 seconds to spend doing whatever we want. But once the day is up, that time is gone forever. We can't buy more of it, and we can't buy it back. And this is what makes time our most valuable asset. It's easy to forget that, though. As a society, we tend to focus more on money than time. We spend hours reading online reviews, trying to work out if we're getting value for money. But the question we never ask is, are we getting value for our time? Last year, I decided to ask myself that question. I was working 8 to 10 hours a day, 5 days a week, 4 weeks off each year, and it had been 6 years since I left university. I was spending all my time working and saving what I could, but I was no closer to my big ambition, which was just buying my own home. In fact, it seemed impossible. According to research from the Halifax, the average mortgage deposit in the UK last year was £30,000. That's higher than the average yearly wage. In London, the situation's even worse, as first-time buyers spend £110,000 just for their mortgage deposit. So here we are. We spend all of our time working, only to spend most of our cash on rent. And if this story sounds familiar, you're in pole position to join 1 in 3 millennials who will never own a home. If you want to know how we can change our story, we need to look at some older ones. Let's start in 1948, when the Empire Windrush first arrived in Britain from the Caribbean. On board were nearly 500 people determined to start a new life here in the UK, but it wasn't easy. They spoke of how hard it was to find accommodation, to open a bank account, or secure a mortgage. Facing a life of unstable renting and turned away by the banks, they decided to work together. They used a financial system from back home, the partner, and would pool their money together and buy houses one by one. They believed, much like I do, that working together can be our strength. The UK has a long history of cooperative banking. The first building society was set up in Birmingham in a pub in 1775. And when they first started, building societies were just groups of people who wanted to build homes for one another. Members would pool their money together each month and build homes for each member. And for a few generations, we knew that our savings would be used to build homes and fund our neighbours' mortgages. That spirit has been lost. The price of a home may have changed, but the value of owning one hasn't. The feeling of walking into a home you own each night is still stability, it's still security, and it's still a great investment in yours and your family's future. Affected by the housing crisis and inspired by these stories, I've decided to launch a new type of building society. It's called Prop Block. And our mission is to make the housing market more accessible to everyone, using these tried and tested ideas as well as new blockchain technology. So how does it work? Well, to start, it works like a traditional building society. Investors pool their money together, like-minded investors pool their money together and invest in property. You can then buy your home back from those investors slowly and gradually as you pay your rent. It's a simple system. As you pay more and own more of your home, your rent goes down. And if you ever want to sell your equity to pay off debts, fund a mortgage deposit, or maybe up sticks and go traveling, you can. It's just a better way of doing things. Now, I know I don't look like your average mortgage broker or banker, but before I go, I just wanted to leave you with this quote from Steve Jobs, who co-founded Apple. He said that life can be so much broader once you realize one simple thing, and that is that everything around you that you call life was created by people that are no smarter than you. And you can change it, you can influence it, and you can build new things that people can use. If you want to help us build a better future, then go to propblock.com now and sign up. It's PROPBLOC. There's no K. PropBlock. Thank you for listening.